All right, guys. So this strategy pretty much, well, again, today, September 18th, 2024, and this strategy here, this is one that is essentially just taking a long whenever, what is it? It's taking a long whenever the close or the tick is above the tick before it. And if the tick is below a tick before it, it's going to go short. And then it's just going for three ticks. So the offset for the buy or sell is 3 ticks. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this. All right, here is the code. Now I'm going to do this from scratch, and so I will probably make this code just a little bit different from what you see now. But like I say, at least it is a sneak peek. So if you are interested in coming here and just getting the information and then hopping off, then that's fine too. But if you want to understand why we do what we do, which is more important than the fish. Teaching you how to fish is more important than the fish. All right, so let's scratch this out and then get started. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this off. Okay, I'm going to close the position, and then we will just delete all that. Okay, we're going to delete each of the objects as well. All right, we will bring over a bit more of a screen here. So again, we have an indicator. So we started an indicator. The indicator, we just named it whatever we wanted to. Yes, long, short, V2. And so again, you can create order tickets from your indicators. You don't have to only use go algorithmic trading from your strategies. And if you do that, then you can only use one position, trade one symbol per one. You can only have one strategy running per symbol at a time. If you do an indicator, you can run multiple strategies at one time, but it can't be saved as a strategy. It's got to be saved as an indicator, and you got to use order tickets. Now, there's a couple of key points that I will have to make for you when you use order tickets. One is be sure to look at your position. Okay, and the second one is be sure to you got to look at the position, so use some positions provider. And then the other one is that you have to be sure to use real-time bars. Because if you start this order ticket and it runs on every single bar in the history, then you will end up with it trying to put in 1 billion orders before it actually gets to a live bar. Okay, so if you see here, on here, well, it's set on 5 days back, but I think I moved it up to like only 50 bars back earlier or something like that. So anyway, so one of the things that we have to do is if last bar on chart, if last X, then begin. This is just saying that we're on the last bar of the chart, or that we have a live bar. Depends on what you're trading. Depends on whether or not you need to how you need to word it. But let's just go ahead and use if it's a live bar. So if get app info AI real-time calc equals 1, then begin, and I always put my begin and my end, that way I don't have to figure out what I'm doing. All right, so we need a few namespaces here. Using EL system, and then because we're looking at the positions provider and we're looking at orders, we want to use TS data.trading. All right, so one variable that we're going to use something called OD. It's going to be an order. We'll start off as null, and then we're going to have a flag that just says that the orders are canceled. So, or just no open orders. So, no open order flag. And this will be set off as let's see, I want to rename that. We're going to rename that open closed orders, open order, open order flag. And we're going to start it off at false. because there should be no open orders. Okay. All right, so we're going to use the toolbox. Like I said, when I first kind of started getting off programming and that kind of a thing, I didn't know that there was a toolbox that you could use. I just understood that you were supposed to, you know, create your order tickets and your items with certain parameters. I didn't know there was a toolbox. So I learned some of the things that you're supposed to put in it, but now I just use the toolbox. Okay, so we're going to use a regular order. That's going to be our main order. We're going to use a bracket order, which is going to give us our secondary order, which will give us our take profit and our stop loss. And then we're going to use a one order sends order, so we can go from the bracket order to the go from the regular order to the bracket order. That's the bridge. Okay. All right. So the order ticket is here. It's going to be called OT. So it'll be a symbol, feature, get account ID, action will be buy. I think we need capital B. Buy. Okay, and then market. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, we need to change the name. OT. Go to bracket order. Symbol will be whatever symbol is on there. I ended up getting myself a mouse pad for my desktop, but I think I just like the mouse more. I don't know. I'm playing around with both of them, trying to figure out which one. All right, so then we're going to sell here. Capital S, right? Sell. Market type. So the target type will be a limit, and then the protection type will be a stop market. And then that we're going to change the name to BOT. Okay, and then the price style will be a parent plus, and then the target limit price offset. So again, your limit price, your target, what you're going for is going to be the parent plus. So the parent is going to be whatever order you get filled at, and then so plus or offset from, right? That's how you get the offset here. So we're going to go offset of 3, I think we said we're going to do. And then so for our protection, we're going to do a protection stop. So we're going to go down here and we're going to do parent plus, and then the offset will be 3. Now, when this runs, this will run, what's in your toolbox runs at the beginning of the initialization, right? So once all this runs, you can still modify it later, right? But all this will run one time the way it looks. That first time it'll run the way it looks. Okay, so one of the things that we need to do is we need to have a once block, because we have our order and we have our bracket order. We haven't combined them yet, right? But hang on, I got some music in my ears. Okay. All right, but we haven't combined them yet. So in order to combine them, for our OSO ticket, it's here. This is our bridge, OSO T. Okay, our primary ticket right here is going to be OT, right? Our secondary ticket, I haven't found a good way to add these here, particularly when using the bracket order ticket. Just do this. Have your object have secondary tickets plus equals your bracket order ticket. Okay, so we only need to do that one time. This is a hard lesson learned, that if you try to add this with every time you have a new order, the first time you add it, you have a order with a bracket order. The second time you take a position, you have an order, now 2 bracket orders. Third time you go back in and you have a new order, you have one new order and 3 bracket orders. So you only add that one time. So once will be OSOT dot secondary tickets plus equals BOT. That's the bracket order ticket. Okay. Alexa is back there talking about something. I tell you, yeah, technology. You don't know what she's listening. What's she talking about? Okay. All right. So we added the bracket order ticket as a secondary ticket to the order sends order, which is attaching the order to our regular order ticket. Now, so if we're on a live order, then we want to. How do we send the order? We want a real bar. How do we send the order? So first off, well, we need some conditions on which to send the order. So let's figure out a condition for long and figure out a condition for short. Okay, so we're going to say we're going to do this intrabar order generation. Okay, so you can come down here and you go intrabar order generation equals true, and then close that out. I don't know if you need a semicolon. I don't remember if you need a semicolon there. All right, let's do this. We're going to say if close is greater than the close a bar ago, then what? Then we're going to send a long position. Okay, and that's going to be a method. You see this parentheses? That's going to be a method. If close is less than close of a bar ago, then send short. Right? Okay. Now we got to create our methods. So we're going to have method void send long begin end method void send short. Just in a short order. And then begin end. Now what do we know about sending an order? Okay, so we'll start there. What do we know about sending an order? When we have this OSOT, this has combined the order with the bracket order, right? So all we need to do then is just send the OSOT, send the order sends order. So we'll do OSOT dot send parentheses like that. Okay, now we can send it just like this, but if we want to track it and keep track of what's going on with it, the OSOT is an order ticket. You can't keep track of an order ticket. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's like, as I understand, I read it somewhere. It's like a piece of mail. Mail that you send off, once you drop it in the mailbox, it's gone, right? So you can't track it anymore. But you can track it as an order, right? So we already have here the order as called OD. So if we send it, but at the same time attach it to an OD, an order, then we can track it. Okay, so that's going to be useful down here when we get ready to make sure that we're taking positions at the right time. Because right now we're only taking a position if we're on a live bar and our condition has been met. But if your condition is met and you take an order, 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 you might take on too many orders. You might only want to take one order at a time. Depends on what you are trying to code for. Most of the time, we do want to limit how many orders we have in one position, either by the number of shares we have or by how many contracts we take within a certain amount of time. There's got to be some type of qualifications or limitations there. Okay, so before we send this order though, right? Because we're sending a long here, we're sending a short here. Remember, when we started off over here at the bracket order ticket, all this gets snapshotted and sent one time at the beginning of the initialization. It gets added to the bracket order ticket one time at the beginning of the initialization, and then the bracket order ticket gets added as a secondary order ticket one time here. Okay. Now, even though it's attached as a secondary ticket to the order ticket, it can still be modified before it's sent again. Okay. So when we get ready to send a long, we do want to modify it. Just make sure that we are going long, okay? So what we can do is we can say BOT, bracket order ticket, dot action equals, now this is an enumeration, okay? So here are your enumerations, right? So we're going down to, what is it? Action, BOT action. You see action here, order action, list of possible actions. So buy is 1, sell is 2. Buy to cover 4, sell short 3. Okay, so because with futures, you can just buy and sell. You don't have to short, as I understand, you don't have to sell short. This will work for futures. Okay, so consider your other options if you are on a normal ticker and you need to buy to cover or sell short. Okay, so we're just buying and selling. Okay, so to go long, we want to buy. So that's 1. All right, and so the regular order ticket action is long 1. Okay, the bracket order ticket, which are our coverings or our exits, would be selling, above and below. That would be selling here. Okay, so we need to do the same thing down here. For send short, we need to, for the main action of the main order, the action would be 2, sell. And then for the bracket order, we have new news coming in right now. News within the hour. All right, this is another strategy or indicator that I created. And I have it on my 5-minute time frame right here. I know we had something at 10:30, but okay. So the Fed speaks at 2 also. Okay. That's why I love programming. It just lets you know. I mean, and it did that. Now, if I was trading or something, if I had a algorithmic, if I had it on auto trading, then I could have something set up in my program to where if we get within an hour, just like you saw the alert there, if we get within an hour of the actual news event, it would stop taking trades. Yeah, so that's why I love programming. Okay, so but back to going short. Our exit here for going short would be what? It would be to buy because we'd have to go long. Okay, so exit for short is buy. Okay, entry for short is sell. Entry for buy is buy or long. And exit for long is sell. Okay. Here we are assigning the ticket to an order. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing down here. Because we're only going to do one or the other. We're not going to buy and sell at the same time. Okay, so again, we're going to do one or we're going to do the other. Okay. All right. So we have changed. Oh, now we need to change the right, because when you go long, your profit is 10 above. Your protection is 10 below, or 3. We're doing 3 ticks. So your profit is 3 ticks above, 3 ticks below. When you're going short, your profit is 3 ticks below and your protection is 3 ticks above. So we need to change when we look at what happens with the bracket order ticket using the parent plus. We got 3. Oh, this should actually be a -3. But when we come back over here, we need to also make sure that that's changed before we send the order, right? So we've established what the actions are, but now we need to say, all right, so for that bracket order ticket, that limit price or not the price, but the offset, because we're not using the price. You could use the price if you wanted to, equals 3, right? And then your bracket order tick, the stop, we did stop price offset is equal to -3, okay? And it's going to be just the opposite for the short. The limit price will be the -3, because that's our target. Our target is to go lower, and then the stop price, the protection price, is going to be 3 ticks above. Okay. All right. So I think I've got this where I want to, except for the fact we haven't used position provider yet. We haven't even added it in. Oh, poor thing. Positions provider, and I think that there is a position provider. Did not spell that right at all. I think there's positions provider over here in the toolbox. Yes, right there. But I'm going to do it manually. You don't have to do everything out the toolbox. All right, so in our once statements, we're going to also add that we have a PP, positions provider. And that's got to be new. Okay, and then not only that, but you do, when you have any of these providers, you have to load them. So pp.load equals true. All right. So now that we load the positions providers, again, so these are going to happen, right? So you saw earlier from the kind of the demonstration of it actually working that once we got into a position, we weren't taking we didn't enter a new position until we were out of that current position, right? So there's a couple things that you have to do that. One of the things that you can simply do is you can say if positions provider dot count is just telling you whether or not you have any positions on. If positions provider dot count equals 0, so we don't have any positions on, then begin. So we only want to look for entries if we already have established we don't have any positions on. You could take this a step further though, because of the simple fact that if you are doing intrabar order generation, or you do have a potential for a lot of entry signals to happen back to back, you might want to check first to make sure that the order has been the prior orders have been filled, canceled, or filled, canceled, or not just sent. You want them to be, or you are out, right? So and that's essentially canceled. But there was one more that I was looking for, but let's look at it. So we want to look at what's going on with the state of these orders, right? Because once the order is sent, it'll say, partially filled. There's different enumerations for it. We'll look at that here. But let's create a flag that says that we don't have any pending orders, outstanding, right? We don't have an order up here waiting or an order down here waiting to be filled. Okay, so we're like double, triple checking to make sure that we're good with our positions and our orders. Okay, so we check the positions here. Now we're going to check the order. So we're going to have something called, that's where we call open order flag, right? So open order flag. And again, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Okay, so open order flag, I actually want it to be false because I don't want there to be an open order. So, we do need to check that we need to check that we have no open orders. So we'll say if order, because the OD here, you don't create an order, right? So we just need to know that an order has already come up here and been created, right? Because you can't see OD equals new order. Verify that. You see where it says here? It says order cannot be created, right? So we need to check and see if it's null or not. So if OD is not null, which means that we do have, or we have created orders. If it's not null, then we need to check order status. And check order status, that's going to be another method that we create, because we need to check the order status. And we could do that with a begin end statement in there, but it's just a little bit cleaner to do it with a method. And it's not going to be a void. We're actually going to return. We're going to return a true false, a Boolean method, void check order status, begin end. So we're going to say, we already know at this point, we already know that OD is not null, so we do have an order, so we don't need to check it again up here. But we can say if OD.state, so the order, the state of the order, and now is when we look at the numerations. So the state of the numerations, I just went to help, and then you just go down to state, you look at order state, and state can be canceled. So what I'm looking for specifically is that it's canceled, it's off the board. It's you could use rejected because it's off the board. It's yeah, I guess those are, oh, field, it's off the board as well. So 9, 12. I think I don't want it to just be 2. I don't want it to just be sent. I want it to be cleared, right? So field, let's go with field or canceled, 8 or 9. Let's try that. Let's see if that works for what we're trying to do. If OD state equals 8 or OD state equals 9, then return. Let's see. What are we trying to get a status for? Open order flag. So we're going to return that it is return false, because that means that there's nothing open. Else return true. Okay, so, and now this is just going to fire up as being false if we don't have any open orders. So what we need to do is assign that to something. So we need to assign that to open order flag. So if OD is not null, then, so if we have already started taking orders, then we're going to check the status of those orders, and hopefully it's false. If it is, well, either way, the status will be assigned to open order flag. And if it's false, then we can take on a new position. But if it's true, then we won't be able to, right? So if OD is not null, then open order flag equals check order status. Or else, if we haven't already gotten any orders yet, then that means that we haven't even sent anything yet. So that means this is probably our first order. And so we can go ahead and say open order flag is equal to false, because we won't have any open orders if we haven't even assigned any orders yet. Okay. And now after we complete this and we get a value for our open order flag, now we can come down here, make sure that the count, that the the open positions that we have is 0, and also that we don't have any pending orders. And then we can determine if we have a an entry signal, then we'll push it out. And if we have an entry signal for a short, then we'll push that out. And then we'll end. I think that's pretty much it. I'm not sure if I need a semicolon there or not. All right. So I just verified it and no errors. That's crazy that I just made this whole thing with no errors. Did I verify it once? I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. I have to go back and look because that would be really crazy if I didn't have any errors. If I completed that whole thing with no errors. That's not like me. I'm telling you, that's not like me. All right, so let's go ahead and turn it on and let's see what issues we have to debug. All right, so turn it back on. All right, good. So we got an entry. We didn't get multiple entries. We got our profit above and nope, we are actually short. All right, so our profit is down here. Our stop is down here. So I just want to see that it works properly with the bracket order being put where it's supposed to put. That when one order is hit, that the other order gets canceled. Perfect. Got a new entry. We only got one position on. We've got our bracket where it's supposed to be. This time we went long and we hit. Good. We got a new entry. We got our short below us, or our exit below us, because we went long again. I got a feeling it's going to come down and hit our protection this time, or it'll go up and hit the take profit. But that's pretty much it. So all you guys have to do now is take this video and then make this say like condition 1 and make this say condition 2. And then you put your own, like right up here, you put your own criteria right in this space, because it's got to be before you get down here. I mean, technically you put it up here. Excuse me. Keep it in the beginning. You put it up here. Okay, so put your criteria right here, and then you would have one that says condition long, and then you have another one that says condition short, and whatever your criteria is, make this equal there, and then you just say if condition long, then send long. Okay, and then if condition short, then send short. Now, I was fooling around with this thing earlier today, and TradeStation EasyLanguage was acting like a funky monkey, and I had to turn it off and turn it back on, and then it worked properly. So anyway, I won't go into all that, but it really, to no error of mine, it was not acting properly, and so I essentially had to make a new indicator, and I had to shut the system down and start it back up, yada yada. But I don't know, it might be screwy because there's this new contract coming in, right? So currently, where you always see me tracking everything on ESU, this is where I was recording all day, recording all my values and everything. And then I turned it off, turned it back on, and then I had to turn it off and turn it back on, and then it was working right. So this is ESU, but I've got to change everything to ESZ, right? Looks like we've got news coming up in about 10 minutes. So that volatility is coming in. Look at that tick. Look at that spread widen on this thing. Now this is exactly what I was showing you, what I've been showing you on the daily recap. When you have that spread real wide like this, even though it dropped down hard like this, you have that spread widen real wide, it tends to move up when you get that wide spread like that. So if you got in at the close of that bar, a nice bounce up, 5 points. And then you might have said that your risk would have been down here at this prior low. So 38. So risking 2 points. It went up 5 points, 1 to 2, 1 to 2.5. Not bad. But that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I hope you got something out of this. Again, this was a request specifically from somebody that joined the channel recently. So thank you for joining the channel. Thank everybody else for joining the channel. But he came on over to Discord. She came on over to Discord and had a question. So I put this together. But this helped me also just to get more practice going back in. Again, if you can teach it, you know it. All right, guys. I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.